So I used to work as a graphic designer. I had a design studio here in London for about 7 years. And then now I'm a baker working here and running the cafe and the bakery. I grew up in Lausanne, or next to Lausanne in Switzerland. I go back about 2-3 times a year when I can. It's always good to go back for a short time. I think it's very relaxing. I think after a while I would get crazy because it's too clean and too organized for me. But it's beautiful and it's really restful. What attracted me to London in the beginning was really the creativity and then the fact that it's multicultural and there's a lot of things happening. It's a bit messy, not everything works, but that means you need to fix it and you need to be creative to find ways around it, and there's a need for communication and creativity. I was interested as a graphic designer, how do you mass produce an object so that it keeps its identity? And I came across two things. One is ceramics and baking. The baking of the ceramics can allow you to mass produce an object, but in the baking process, each object can actually be slightly different. And that's based on a philosophy called wabi-sabi, which is a Japanese philosophy about the imperfection of objects and seeing beauty in imperfection. I also came across the French word for friend, which is copain. That comes from the Latin cum panis, or companion in English, and that means with bread. So as a graphic designer, I was interested in how do you get people to communicate, how do you create a dialogue, and I thought, actually bread we can use bread as a tool for communications to make friends, basically. So you can use bread to make friends. First I started working in bakeries 1 day a week, and then having my design studio at the same time, and then gradually stopped working as a designer and then worked more and more in bakeries at night. And then at the same time I bought like a small pizza oven that I had in a spare room at home, and then baking bread from home. So to move from home production into here was just mad. It was crazy. I don't think I would do it again. I think it was just a lot. You have your small bakery production in a spare room, you have your small oven, it's just you working on your own, and it's nice. But then to move here, it was just madness. It was like, the size of the oven is obviously much bigger, but then also running a cafe, having staff, having customers every day that wants more and more, and then I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to run a cafe. So now, because the cafe is here and it's quite big and we close at 5 o'clock, we do evening bread classes, which is about teaching people how to do sourdough bread at home. So we make 2 breads from scratch, from mixing the ingredients into proving them, baking them, so people go home with 2 freshly baked bread. I have lots of plans for the future. One of them is this fermentation corner that I want to do just here in the cafe, where I want to make the cafe a bit smaller and then have a lab for fermentation where we'd make the kombucha, the kefir, and then the beer and other fermented food. If we have any bread left over from, because one day it's raining or everybody decided to go away or on holiday, then we can use that leftover bread and then transform into beer, and then we can use the spent grain from the beer making process into the bread again. So I really like this idea of the cycle of ingredients, or no waste ideally. That's really what drives me. And that's really a model that I want to do. So I want to really tackle food waste and make people aware about it, I think, because still lots of people, or we waste a lot of food that could be avoided. But then I think also use this food to give for people who need it.